Hello and welcome to a quick tutorial on how to secure the back of your t-shirt neckband to not stretch with the help of the cotton tape. For this purpose you can also use the self material, which can be cut and folded to this width. I think this is over 1 centimeter. We need a 1 centimeter wide tape. Or a strip of material. So anyway, so we start with, this is our neckline. We start with the one shoulder, whichever one is more comfortable for you. We fold in just under 1 centimeter allowance, and we're going to be pinning this to this shoulder seam allowance. So it's going to be pinned to seam allowance only, and this beginning of the tape will have to cover our shoulder seam here. This edge here is going to come to our seam that got the band attached to the neckline. And we don't stretch, we just gently pin it along. And so when it comes to the second shoulder seam, now to remind you, this is the back of the t-shirt. We measure about under 1 centimeter over for folding under, and we do that, and we pin it again just to come over there to cover the shoulder seam. We pin it in place. And we're going to take it to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch it about 2 millimeters away from this edge, which will attach the band to the seam allowance only. So just to repeat again, keep the t-shirt free. We're stitching it to the seam allowance only. Because we have a slightly bulkier seam, I'd like to secure that, level it out with the seam guide. Okay, so we've made one set of stitches already. We've attached it at the top. So what we're going to do now is, I like to start in the middle. We pin it on the bottom now through all the layers, and make sure that this doesn't bulge. And basically we will be doing the stitching now at the bottom of the tape, okay, which will show at the back of our t-shirt. So when I pin it, I like to make sure that nothing in the back ripples, too much at least. That's it. And then do the same. So this is pretty much it. We've secured the bottom of this side and the bottom of the tape on this side, and just to make sure that at the back there's no rippling or frilling going on anywhere. And then basically we go to the sewing machine, and the seam will be going about the same distance, about 2 millimeters on this side, and I'll be making sure that I'm watching the back again to not create any ripples in the back, because that way I'd have to unpick it and redo it, and we don't like doing that, do we? Okay, see you in a minute. And the end result is, ta-da! This is the finished back of the neckline, and in the back, I haven't pressed it yet, but once I do, it's gonna straighten out nicely. And yeah, it's very, very straight. So this is it. If you like, you can, in the second part, you can put your label. I know I like my fancy labels. You can input your label in here as well. But for this tutorial, I decided not to do that, so there we go. Hope it's useful.